My name is Jesse Lubinsky. I'm an Education Evangelist with Adobe, and I have the good fortune to get to work with teachers and students every day across the country on finding ways to embed creative opportunities into teaching and learning for students and teachers. And we're at a really interesting time in education. I mean, as we're recording right now, AI has really only been mainstream for a few months. But in those few months, we've seen exponential growth in terms of what that technology is capable of. And I think as I talk to teachers, I get a sense of stress coming from them in terms of how is this going to change how we teach. Now, it's easy to draw an analogy and say, well, this isn't that different from, when Google first came on the scene, but it is. And so oftentimes, I'm asked, well, how do we prepare for this? How do we, give students opportunities to learn that don't allow them to just go out to AI and potentially have AI do work for them? And the answer I keep coming back to is this idea of finding creative opportunities for our students. So I've talked a lot over the years about the idea of voice, choice, and agency in the classroom, finding opportunities for students to connect with the things they're passionate about and bring those into the classroom so that they feel like they're a partner and a stakeholder in the learning process. I think when we all learned how to be educators, in my case, longer ago than some other people, but it was very different how we prepared to teach. And we didn't prepare to have students in class as a partner in the learning process. It was really still that old chalk and talk, sage on the stage model of teaching. And so when I work with teachers, I always want to make sure they know that this isn't about doing something extra, because we know that teachers do not have capacity to do another thing. Their plates are already overflowing. So what I want them to do is just re-examine the work they're already doing, because so many of them have creative entry points for the work that they're already doing. So a large part of the work we do is helping teachers identify how can we take the work that we're already doing in a classroom and give students the opportunity to connect to those things that they're passionate about and to find those creative entry points into that work. And so when we do that, when we provide opportunities to have students make their thinking visible, we eliminate some of the concerns of AI. Because instead of worrying about whether or not they directly copy and paste it off of ChatGPT or another website, we know we can see all of the learning that they've done in every stage of the process. And so what we have is meaningful learning outcomes and meaningful teaching that's happening in the classroom every day. And for the teachers that are worried that this may be something that's too far out of reach, or something that they can't do because maybe they don't consider themselves to be a creative, or maybe they think that you're either born a creative or not, what I would say is, I don't consider myself to be a natural creative. If you hand me a blank piece of paper, I tend to freak out. I need a starting point. I need somewhere to start to know how to build those creative opportunities. And I guess my message to you is, those opportunities are out there. Those educators are out there to connect with. Don't worry so much about where we're headed. I've spent a lot of my career focusing on emerging technologies and the impact that they're going to have in the classroom. I wrote books on AR, VR, and Esports and the impact that those will have. And in many ways, AI is an extension of that. Yes, it's much more impactful, but the core tenets of how they're going to change education as we know it are still there. And so let's find ways to have teachers examine the work they're doing, find those creative opportunities for students, and give them the opportunity to really be successful in a way that feels important to them.